All right, now if you don't mind, can you just give somebody to your left and to your right a high five? A high five. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, can you also put your hands together for yourselves for taking our time to come here? I'm aware that we have various age demographics here. We have very distinguished personalities. We have our fathers and mothers. And we also have Gen Zs in the house. Gen Zs in the house, can you clock it? Yeah. Yeah. I can see one Egbon. I can see one Egbon doing like this. It's just two fingers. They used to clock it. And it's for Gen Zs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it promises to be a good time. We will have a very interactive session today as we continue. Mr. Governor is our keynote speaker, and as soon as he comes into this space, we would commence the event fully. I just want to make a few announcements as we continue. In case you need anything, our hostesses are everywhere to ensure that everybody is properly taken care of. Please feel free to reach out to them. They are more than willing to ensure that we are comfortable. It's a very secure environment, but as safe as it is, we also want to encourage you to keep anything you consider valuable so that we will not have cause to make the announcement of the loss of any property. It's a safe environment, as I said, but in case you need to use the exits, we have four. We have 4 exits in this facility. We have 2 to my left and 2 to my right. Please feel free to use them as we continue if you need to use them. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the gents and the ladies at the back through the exit to my left. The last exit to my left at the back. The gents and ladies are there to ensure that, we are comfortable all through the duration of our stay here. Because it's a very serious event, we'll appreciate that movements are restricted as soon as we start. We'll also appreciate that we try not to distract others with our phones in terms of ringing out loud. So please ensure you put your phone on vibration, or ensure you put it on flight mode, or if you want to turn it off, it's fine, depending on how you want to do it. But just ensure that your phone is not a source of distraction to others. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored that we all are here. We do not take your presence for granted. And the topic that will be discussed today is one that is very topical, especially talking about the Center of Excellence and the Land of Aquatic Splendor, which is also the economic capital of Nigeria and the cultural melting pot of this beautiful country. I'm very sure that when we listen to Mr. Governor today, we will not just be informed, but we'll have loads of insights that will help us understand and appreciate how Lagos is growing, how Lagos is evolving, and how it is intentional about transforming the lives of everybody here in this state. So ladies and gentlemen, we say thank you very much for joining us. We're excited that you're here, and we'd like you to, as we get ready to start, feel free to network with the person beside you and try to know more about that person in the midst of light music that will be happening. Damola is my name, and I'm very honored to be the master of ceremonies this morning. Enjoy this, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. Can we rise to receive Mr. Governor? Thank you very much. Thank you. We acknowledge the presence of Mr. Governor, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Can we please put our hands together for him? Thank you. Thank you. While we are still on our feet, we are going to take the national anthem, and I'd like to invite and welcome Mrs. Umoren Ananu Ene as she comes forward to lead. Thank you.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
If you love Nigeria, can you put your hands together for our dear country, Nigeria? You may please be seated. I understand that some of us are really amazed at how she took the national anthem. Some of us are thinking, is it our same national anthem? Yes, she has a beautiful voice and it's the same anthem. Please put your hands together for her one more time. Thank you. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the founder and board chairman, Citadel School of Business, Citadel School of Government, Citadel School of Government, Pastor Tunde Bakari and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Olaide Bakari, we want to welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the Center of Excellence and the Land of Aquatic Splendor, who is also our keynote speaker today, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Can we put our hands together for him? We acknowledge very specially the Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okwe George. Please put your hands together for him. We acknowledge very specially very distinguished personalities from government, captains of industry here present, distinguished personalities from all over the world watching, are very passionate young Nigerians that are intentional about government and the future of our dear country. We want to say thank you to you all for being a part of today's event. We say thank you very much for coming. We do not take your presence for granted. We also like to acknowledge the board of trustees, Citadel School of Government. Thank you very much for coming. We acknowledge you. We also like to say thank you to the Vice Chancellor of the prestigious University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Tolulope Ogunshola, who is represented by the Executive Director, University of Lagos Business School. Thank you very much for coming. Professor Sunday Abayomi at DBC, we acknowledge you. Thank you. We also like to acknowledge very specially the Executive Director of Citadel School of Government, Mr. Omo. Thank you very much for coming. We acknowledge very specially the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria here represented. Thank you very much for coming. We say thank you. More recognitions will be done as we continue with today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit Lagos 2026, put together by the Citadel School of Government with the theme, From Southwest Nigeria to the Globe, Lagos State as a Geo-Economic Hub. We are very honored to have our keynote speaker here present, who will be speaking extensively on this topic. As you know, Lagos is the center of excellence by every parameter of measurement, and our keynote speaker, through his leadership, has continued to place Lagos on the global map in terms of economic development, through innovation, through strategic thinking, through intentional leadership. And we are very proud of his numerous achievements. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together for the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. As I promised, as we get more names for recognition, we will have them announced. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, to formally welcome us to today's program, I'd like to respectfully invite and welcome the Executive Director, Citadel School of Government. Please put your hands together for Mr. Omo as he comes forward at this time to speak. Can we make him feel welcome, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you.
Standing on the protocols already established by the MC, on behalf of the founder and board chairman of Citadel School of Government, Pastor Tunde Bakari, the board, faculty, staff, partners, and participants of our institution and the entire Citadel ecosystem, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the maiden edition of the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit, Lagos 2026. We are honored by the presence of Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, distinguished public servants, political leaders, members of the diplomatic and business communities, academics, development practitioners, civil society leaders, members of the media, and participants joining us from within and outside Nigeria. Today marks an important milestone in the evolution of a conversation that has occupied the minds of many nation builders for decades. How do we harness the vast potential embedded within our diverse regions, states, and communities to build a more prosperous, peaceful, and globally competitive Nigeria? Citadel School of Government was established to contribute to answering questions such as this. Our mission is to raise cutting-edge leaders equipped with tools required to shape institutions, strengthen governance systems, influence public policy, and advance societal progress. Through our growing portfolio of capacity-building programs implemented in partnership with the University of Lagos Business School, we are helping to prepare a new generation of leaders for the public sphere and beyond. These programs include the Advanced Diploma in Public Leadership and Statecraft, the Certificate in Leading Public Sector Innovation, the Certificate in Local Governance and Administration, the Next Generation in Governance program, and other specialized executive learning opportunities designed to strengthen leadership, governance, policy, design, and public sector effectiveness. Beyond such training programs, Citadel School of Government is also home to a growing think tank dedicated to generating ideas, fostering dialogue, and advancing policy conversations on issues critical to Nigeria's future. In this regard, we are building on the track record and intellectual legacy of a precursor organization within our ecosystem, the International Center for Reconstruction and Development, which for many years served as a platform for strategic intervention in governance and national development. Indeed, the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit is one of the public engagement initiatives emerging from that tradition. More than a decade ago at ICRD, acting on the founder's vision, we began exploring the geo-economic potential embedded within Nigeria's various regions and zones. That body of work supported several policy advocacy initiatives. Even then, it was evident that this was a long-term vision. It required sustained inquiry, rigorous research, patient institution building, and continuous engagement with policymakers, business leaders, and citizens. When the founder mandated Citadel School of Government to assume and expand the think tank responsibility, it became clear that geo-economic optimization would remain one of the defining pillars of our policy agenda. Today's summit, therefore, serves a dual purpose. First, it is an opportunity to explore the opportunities embedded within Lagos State as a geo-economic hub. Whether you are a young entrepreneur seeking to build the next globally competitive enterprise, a business executive interested in maximizing the advantages of Lagos economic ecosystem, or a political leader or policymaker seeking insights into long-term development planning, today's conversations promise to be enriching. Secondly, this summit forms part of an ongoing research program within Citadel School of Government. In pursuing this work, we are adopting an approach inspired by appreciative inquiry, a framework that encourages societies and institutions to identify what already works, understand why it works, and build upon those strengths to create even better outcomes. That is precisely why Lagos State provides a starting point for this national conversation. Finally, on a personal note, today's event is especially meaningful to me for two reasons, and this is to inspire the Gen Zs, the young people here. The first reason occurred just yesterday when I was invited to speak about the summit on TVC's breakfast show. During the discussion, a question was raised suggesting that the initiative bears some resemblance to the famous Engbeti Summit. That question immediately took me down memory lane to the 2000s, when the unveiling of the Lagos Development Vision by the then governor, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, inspired me to believe more deeply in the Lagos dream. To find myself years later discussing a similar conversation on national television felt like a remarkable full circle moment. Now, the second reason occurred last year, 16 September 2025, when I attended an event organized by the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, at which Governor Sanwo-Olu delivered a keynote address titled Lagos and Nigeria 2030, Projections of the World. During the interactive session, I eagerly wanted to ask the governor a few questions. I wanted to know what Lagos was doing differently from many other states. I wanted to know what lessons he shared with his colleagues through the Nigerian Governors Forum and the Southwest Governors Forum. I wanted to understand the collaborative strategies through which states could accelerate development across regions. Unfortunately, the moderator never recognized me to ask my question. It does appear that I never really put my hand down, because as Providence would have it, thanks to the vision and influence of the founder, Citadel School of Government, Pastor Tunde Bakari, the governor is here today in my organization to address precisely those kinds of questions in the course of an entire program. It means that 9 months later now, I can put my hand down. So to everyone whose hand in a matter of speaking may not be recognized during today's question and answer session and interaction with the governor, please take encouragement from my experience. Somehow, your question will be answered. Just pay close attention. Thank you once again for joining us. I wish you a productive, insightful, and inspiring summit. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I think the executive director deserves a better round of applause. Thank you very much. Yes, he's also getting a handshake from Mr. Governor himself. Yes. Yes. This is just a clear reflection of the fact that anything is possible. Just put your mind to it, you will achieve it. Please put your hands together for him one more time. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the representative of Air France KLM, Emeka Ikwegoro. Thank you very much for joining us. We also have the Deputy Registrar, ICANN, Dr. Ijeoma Anaso. Thank you very much for joining us. Here seated are captains of industry, very, very eminent personalities. We honor you, we celebrate you, and as soon as we get your names and designation, we'll do the proper recognition. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, to give a goodwill message at this time, I'd like to invite and welcome the Executive Director of the University of Lagos Business School. Please put your hands together for Professor Sunday Adebisi as he comes forward at this time. Can we make him feel welcome with a better round of applause?
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the founder of the Citadel School of Government, Pastor Tunde Bakare, distinguished faculty of UABS and CSG, esteemed policymakers, entrepreneurs, academics, and friends, committed to the future of our city and our region and our continent. It's a singular honor to address this gathering as the new Executive Director of the University of Lagos Business School. Mr. Governor, this is symbolic for me, for it is my first official program. Since assuming the position, and I flew in from Glasgow this morning on the 5:30 a.m. Virgin Atlantic flight to enable me to honor this invitation. I also bring greetings from my Vice Chancellor, Professor Folashade Ogunshola, who led the powerful team of the University of Lagos to the Second Africa-Europe Core Conference because of the strategic importance of the University of Lagos in driving the Africa agenda and the quality of our faculties, to engage with the best of the best in Europe, to negotiate global opportunities, equality, and competitiveness. My Vice-Chancellor approved the adjustment of my flight schedule because everybody is still there, to join this conversation because of the many important conversations we have had in the Allo Chamber of the University of Glasgow about Africa, about Nigeria, and about Lagos, as if Pastor Bakare and his team were in the room with us. This is good. Your Excellency, every city that has successfully elevated itself from regional importance to global significance has done so in partnership with a great knowledgeable institution. And we are now determined at ULBS, University of Lagos Business School, to be the engine of economic and enterprise development of our immediate environment, Lagos State, Nigeria, our country, and Africa. Because the world is looking onto us, and we are poised to making this happen. Your Excellency, Stanford University created the condition for Silicon Valley, and companies founded by Stanford alumni have collectively created approximately 39,900 active companies, 5.4 million jobs, and generated $2.7 trillion in annual revenue, almost matching the total GDP of Africa. Total GDP of Africa is 2.8 trillion. And one university has done that, in Stanford. In the United Kingdom, London Business School and Oxford Said Business School function as the intellectual anchors of the British commercial ecosystem, while Adam Smith Business School of the University of Glasgow, which I met with last week, and we are forming a great relationship, is the pillar of the economic innovation of Scotland. Your Excellency, The University of Lagos Business School is already the closest institutional equivalent to this model that Lagos possesses. It offers programs at executive MBA and Doctor of Business Administration levels, designed explicitly to link research-based knowledge to professional capacity development and national economic growth. Our faculty also engages with the complex real-world problem of the Lagos business environment on a daily basis. You can see this in our example with a partnership with the Citadel School of Government in an intentional partnership relationship to jointly build citizens that will be committed to the new Nigeria that we all desire. Thank you very much, Pastor, for making this to happen. Your Excellency, as of today, the data confirm the following: that Lagos is no longer just Nigeria commercial capital. It is the geo-economic engine of West Africa with global ambitions. We discussed that in the House when we were in Glasgow. The Lagos GDP is projected to hit 73.15 trillion this year, and I know it's doable. We can do more than that with a clear roadmap towards a $1 trillion economy by 2052. We can achieve that in 2035. It is possible, Your Excellency. Measured by purchasing power parity, Lagos' economy stood at $259.75 billion in 2025, making it the second largest city economy in Africa, surpassing that of Joburg, Nairobi, and Accra. Lagos consistently contributes 22% and 26.7% of Nigerian total GDP, and over 50% of it is non-oil GDP. The state generates 65% of Nigerian VAT and 35% of national internally generated revenue. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, Lagos generated 807.1 billion naira in total revenue, with 536.37 billion coming directly from its own IGR. I think we should put our hands together for this state. So, if Lagos were to be a sovereign nation, it will rank among the top 30 economy in the world and be the fifth largest in Africa. You know, before the redomination of Naira, Lagos was the fourth largest economy in Africa. So, let's check this. So, I said with an estimated population of 24 million, it's larger than any other economy in ECOWAS sub-region. Despite the rebasing of Ghana GDP, Lagos GDP is still, bigger than that. So, Your Excellency, kindly note that the connection between ULBS, the University of Lagos, and the emergence of Yaba as Nigerian Technology District is not incidental. The University of Lagos produced the engineers, the computer scientists, the economists, and the business managers who built the company that now define Lagos' global technology identity. What the Stanford Silicon Valley story teaches us is that this relationship need not to be organic and uncoordinated. It can be deliberate, structured, and dramatically amplified through formal partnership between the institution and the state. Mr. Governor, Lagos as a state and under your leadership has done pretty well. I'm not a politician. Statistics have said so. So, I'm not a politician, but the statistics I've given to you as a professor of business have said so. I am here today to assure you that ULBS is ready to deepen and formalize its relationship with Lagos State across 4 specific dimensions. Number 1, the Lagos Competitiveness Research Center, permanently housed at ULBS, producing quarterly economic intelligence, policy analysis, and geo-economic research that Lagos needs to make data-driven decisions at the pace and the complexity of a global city. If we do this, we achieve bigger than we are expecting. Number 2, and after leadership, African Continental Free Trade Agreement is at the corner. Lagos is the city that can do what? That can benefit from it. I call it After Leadership and Trade Program, designed in partnership with Lagos State government and the private sector to build the class of trade negotiator, export-ready entrepreneur, and commercial diplomat that continental integration demand. Lagos can then exploit the $3.4 trillion aftermarket without a critical mass of people who understand it, deeply. Number 3, Blue Economy and Marine Business Institute. Drawing on UAB's academic infrastructure, we can help to produce the management, logistic, and policy expertise required to govern the Lekki Port Complex, develop the waterway economy, and position Lagos as Africa's leading maritime logistic hub. Number 4, Digital Economy and Technopreneurship Accelerator. Embedding UABS formally within the Yaba and Lekki innovation ecosystem through structured faculty engagement, startup advisory, executive education for founders, and applied research that keep both the school and the ecosystem at the frontier of global practice. If you do this Mr. Governor, Lagos State will compete in the next 3 years with New York, because we have the resources. In conclusion, the path from southwest Nigeria to the globe runs through an ecosystem of talent, institution, infrastructure, and governance, whose components must now be deliberately assembled. Lagos has the commercial DNA for southwest to be developed. The DNA is Lagos. It has the geographical advantage, it has the demographic dividend. What it must now build with deliberate intent and institutional partnership is the knowledge architecture capable of governing a city of 25 million people, a continental trade gateway, a maritime logistic hub, and a global technology capital simultaneously. The University of Lagos Business School stand ready to serve as the intellectual engine of that next chapter, Mr. Governor. It is time for the government of Lagos State and UABS to formalize a partnership commensurate with the scale of the city's ambition. A partnership model on Stanford and Silicon Valley, on the great research university and the great city they have helped build, and grounded in knowledge. The UNILAG has already contributed to the emergence of the Lagos we have today. Your Excellency, we are ready when you are ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I believe Professor Sunday Adebisi deserves a better round of applause. That was a scholarly and data-driven address that shows empiricism and objectivity. And you will agree with me that everything that he has rightly said today means that the economy of Lagos is actually bigger than the economy of some countries in Africa. And I think the man at the center of it all deserves a better round of applause. Please put your hands together for Mr. Governor. Thank you. I noticed that the University of Lagos is well represented here. As I mentioned, UNILAG at a point, a lot of people made some noise. Yeah. I also observed that Mr. Governor is a product of the University of Lagos. Pastor Tunde Bakare is also a product of the University of Lagos. I also went to UNILAG, but I went there to visit somebody. I just spent a few minutes there and it was a good one. All right. Thank you. Also to give a goodwill message this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored to have a very distinguished personality, an engineer par excellence, and a woman making so many women proud across the world. The former special advisor to Mr. Governor on Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Aramide Adeyoye. Please put your hands together for her as she comes forward to give a goodwill message. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but I can feel the energy in the room. It's very, very infectious. And the signs that the new Nigeria that we all desire is about to bloom. Mr. Governor, much as I would like to stand on existing protocols, I think it's good and appropriate to do it right. Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Other government functionaries, I see my former colleague, the Commissioner for Budget Planning and for Budget Planning. I see the SA Investment, the founder and chair of the Board of Directors, CSG, Pastor Babatunde Bakari, and our Deputy Overseer, Pastor Mrs. Laide Bakari, the Executive Director of University of Lagos Business School, Professor Adebisi, distinguished professors, Dr. Professor Tawe is also there, I see him. The cohorts, the first cohorts of the Citadel School of Government. Members of the diplomatic corps and the business community, captains of industry, members of the CGCC community, other invited guests, and several other people online. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the advisory board of the Citadel School of Government, it's my singular honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this year's Geo-Economic Summit, the first in the series to be organized by the school's academy. Today's turnout of participants in this hall, with bright faces, optimism, zeal, and energy, is indeed the elixir we need as a board to go on, and we feel highly elated and thankful to you all. It further reaffirms our conviction in the fact that our efforts at creating a platform for active engagement in the political space aimed at building a new Nigeria is beginning to yield fruits. With it, we clearly are able to facilitate the discovery, development, and deployment of talented young leaders into governance. I must at this juncture congratulate and appreciate the vision of the board chair and the deputy chair in the persons of Pastor Tunde Bakari and Pastor Mrs. Laide Bakari in setting, clap if you feel like clapping, please clap. In setting this school up to bridge the leadership gap bedeviling our nation. Their pioneering efforts is what we see translate to the results of today, including the generation of free flow of ideas, policies, strategies, and innovative solutions to governance. Over the next hour or more, we will have an incredible opportunity to listen firsthand to the governor of Lagos State speak, being the man on the saddle in a geographically unique state like Lagos, an hub for economic growth and the link to the outside world, making giant strides as a subnational, with potentials to do even much more. It is hoped, therefore, that from summits like this, participants and other states of the Federation could get new insights and learn one or two things that will trigger discussions in the room and beyond. And it's already started for regional collaboration and competitiveness. Once again, I say a big welcome to you all and thank you for listening.
Can we put our hands together? Thank you so much, Engineer Ramide Adeyoye. She's also a CSG board member. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you so much. Thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to invite and welcome a man that is passionate about leadership, a man passionate about Nigeria, a man who is passionate about bridging the leadership gap in Africa by equipping public servants, policymakers, legislators, the public sector executives, emerging leaders, and the next generation. A man who thought about the establishment of the Citadel School of Government and came up with this idea to build leaders that Africa and the world will be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I respectfully invite and welcome Pastor Tunde Bakari, the founder and board chairman, Citadel School of Government, as he comes forward at this time to unveil the vision behind the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit that we are having today. The applause can be louder for him, ladies and gentlemen.
You may please be seated. Your Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, CON, Governor of Lagos State, Nigeria. I want to thank you personally for accepting to be here today. Members of the board of the Citadel School of Government present here and online, our distinguished partners, the University of Lagos Business School, ably represented here by the Executive Director, Professor Sunday Adebisi, several scholars and development practitioners present, leaders and citizens of our beloved nation, Nigeria, gentlemen of the press. The difference between privilege and entitlement is gratitude. I would like once again to place on the register our profound gratitude to Mr. Governor for his magnanimity and responsiveness to the people he serves as a leader. This summit was slated for last week, but for an important event, the documentary premiere of MKO June 12, 1993, that took place in Sheffield, June 12, last week, 33 years after in the United Kingdom. I called from the United States and pleaded with the governor to please help us shift this meeting to today. I had to give the reason. I said the MKO documentary premiere will take place in Sheffield on Friday, and there's no magic, since I do not have private jet, that I will be here on Saturday. Mr. Governor did not only accept to shift the date, he said such an important premiere requires his personal presence. He came that morning to Sheffield to honor the sacrifice of MKO tried to monitor his movement and said, please help me check if the governor will be able to make it. He had promised to be there. And they said, from the look of things, he's not likely to make it. I said, okay. So I decided to call myself. And I called, I said, Your Excellency, where are you? Do you know what he said? He said, we are in the King's Place. I said, Oba of Lagos? He said, no, King Charles. I'll be there in Sheffield. And he showed up on time. I remember Gideon telling the angel, who am I and who is my father's house? Who am I to ask the governor of Lagos State to come to Sheffield? He came to represent Nigeria that day. Mr. Governor, every time and every moment you have showed me great honor. Honor will never depart from your life. Even after you leave Lagos, honor will pursue you everywhere you go. In the mighty name of Jesus. It is with a profound sense of history and a sure commitment to the future that I stand before you today to unveil the vision of the Citadel School of Government's Geo-Economic Optimization Summit. We gather at a critical juncture in our national journey. The conversations we shall commence here are the necessary deliberations of a people determined to understand their past, confront their present, and architect their future. In the spirit of true scholarship that Citadel School of Government represents, let us begin by delineating the conceptual framework that will guide our engagement. Before we can chart a course forward, we must understand the three pillars upon which our national existence rests. These are the geosocial, the geopolitical, and the geo-economic, three distinct yet deeply interconnected dimensions of the Nigerian reality. The geosocial speaks to the fabric of our society, the ethnic nationalities, the religious communities, the cultural identities, and the historical experiences that define who we are as a people. It is the domain of identity, belonging, and social cohesion. It is a question of how we live together despite our diversity, and whether we can transform that diversity from a source of tension into a wellspring of strength. The geopolitical speaks to the structures of governance, the distribution of power, the constitutional arrangements, and the institutional frameworks through which we organize our collective life. It is a question of how we govern ourselves, of federalism versus unitarism, of centralization versus decentralization, of the relationship between the center and the peripheries. The geo-economic concerns the resources, the productive capacities, the economic potentials, and the developmental possibilities embedded within every region of this country. It is a question of how we harness the land, the minerals, the human capital, and the entrepreneurial spirit of our people to create prosperity and improve the standard of living for every Nigerian wherever they reside. These three dimensions form a tripod upon which the Nigerian project stands. When they intersect as Nigeria competes with the rest of the world, they form a fourth dimension, the geostrategic. I submit to you today that the fundamental challenge of our nation has been the failure to achieve a harmonious alignment among them. Our geosocial reality is one of profound diversity. Our geo-economic potential is one of immense abundance. Yet, our geopolitical structure has too often been one of tension and suboptimality. It is a long-term mission of Citadel School of Government through the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit to address this misalignment and to facilitate the emergence of a governance model in which our geopolitical structures are designed to harmonize our geosocial diversity and unlock our geo-economic potential. To understand where we are, we must first understand how we began. The Nigerian state was not born in a moment of unity, but through a series of conferences, constitutional conferences that reflected the social cultural diversities and the geopolitical and ideological interests of our diverse constituents. The founding conferences that shaped our nation were animated by the need to forge an acceptable governance structure. And what did those references or conferences reflect? They were a negotiation of identities, a recognition that the peoples of the Niger, the Benue, and the Chad basins were distinct, yet needed to coexist. The foundational governance structure was not primarily economic. It was not driven by the logic of resource optimization or the pursuit of economic efficiency. It was based on socio-cultural groupings. The three regions that became four were in essence socio-cultural entities. The northern region, the western region, were defined, and the eastern region were defined by the peoples who inhabited them, their languages, their traditions, and their historical trajectories. These sociocultural distinctions led to the geopolitical structure of the First Republic, a federal arrangement that, while imperfect, recognized the distinctiveness of our communities. But here is where history reveals a divine design. Every time I've been introduced today, I was called Pastor Tunde Bakare, so you know that I'll quote the Bible. It's my primary source. The Bible says, God made humanity from one blood and determined the boundaries of their dwellings and the time of their visitation. So, in what seemed coincidental, the social-culturally diverse composition of the Nigerian state mirrored a biogeographical diversity that can only be a reflection of the master plan of God who predesigned the Nigerian state. I know you will tell me it was balkanized here and there. If God was not involved, it would not happen. How could they create such a big nation? One out of every 4 black men in the world is a Nigerian, and put us in between French-speaking countries. It has to be God that guided their hands. If you disagree, create your own. The three regions were not only socioculturally distinct, they were biogeographically distinct. The north possessed its savannas and its minerals. The west has its cocoa belt and its forests. The east had its oil palm groves and its rich soil. The Midwest, which would later emerge in 1963-64, being part of the broader Niger Delta, possessed the oil that would transform our economic destiny. The God who created Nigeria gave us diversity, not as a curse, but as a blessing. A diversity of peoples and a diversity of resources designed to complement one another, to trade with one another, and to build a nation of interdependence and mutual prosperity. The biogeographical diversity of the Nigerian state is a testament to the divine design that our founding fathers in their wisdom were to administer. Chief Obafemi Awolowo's Western region stands as a definitive model of geo-economic optimization in Nigerian history, where governance was reimagined as a developmental enterprise focused squarely on improving the lives of ordinary citizens while harnessing regional economic endowments. Through his visionary leadership, Awolowo transformed the region by establishing free universal education that opened doors for generations, building industrial estates that created jobs and prosperity, and constructing iconic infrastructure, including Africa's first television station, all achieved without all oil revenue or federal handouts. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Chief Michael Okpara replicated geo-economic successes in the eastern region, while Sir Ahmadu Bello took up the developmental challenge of the northern region. But alas, the First Republic collapsed. The military intervened. With that intervention, the geopolitical structure that enabled regional development was dismantled. The military, with its penchant for centralization, imposed a unitary system that collapsed the geopolitical structure. The result was a nation where the center became all-powerful and the region became mere appendages. Though the geosocial and the geo-economic potentials remain, the political structure needed to optimize these potentials had been eliminated. The regions that once competed to develop their territories, competed to build schools, to build roads, to build schools, roads, to attract industries, were reduced to shadowy entities, mere administrative units dependent on federal allocations. The military era was a tragic interruption of our developmental trajectory. The structures that had enabled local initiative and regional competition were replaced by a stifling centralization that bred dependency and atrophy. Let me at this juncture state what many Nigerians sometimes are not aware about whenever they criticize the military intervention and call it the year of the locust. I consider it very important, and I think it's only proper for historical accuracy to state clearly that the administration of General Yakubu Gowon reversed the unification decree promulgated by the General Rose's administration, and he, General Gowon, also did his best to cure the stifling centralization earlier mentioned with the promulgation of the Constitution, suspension and modification decree number 8 of March 17, 1967, which restored the powers of the regional governments to their pre-January 17, 1966 position. Many Nigerians are not aware of that. Truth be told, decree number 8 completely decentralized the government of Nigeria and even went further than the Republican Constitution as it existed before January 15, 1966, but the outbreak of the Civil War on May 30, 1967, just 3 days after the creation of the 12 states in the Federation, beclouded all that. Like the Yoruba would say, Asho ba omoye, omoye tiri woja. Despite the good intentions of decree number 8 of 1967, succeeding generations of military rulers seem to prefer the stifling centralization by their actions and inactions. Be that as it may, the return to democratic governance in 1979 and subsequently in 1999 and the constitutional arrangement thereto left a burning question whether the geopolitical structure that emerged from this constitutional arrangement was or has proved sufficient to maintain geosocial peace and harmony and optimize the geo-economic potential of our nation. The answer I submit is evident in the challenges we face today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our journey to this day is traceable to the year 2007 when I was in Atlanta, Georgia at an international conference. It was there that I received promptings towards a new dimension of my calling, a call towards the transformation of the nation and the continent. The state of Africa, almost 50 years after independence, was a cause of deep concern. The breakdown of political, economic, and social institutions had become a compelling need to strategically intervene in governance. The continent that should have been a beacon of progress had become a symbol of missed opportunities. This led to the formation of the ICRD International Center for Reconstruction and Development, an NGO mandated to re-engineer the social, economic, and political landscapes of Nigeria and Africa by extension. The vision was clear. we could not continue on the trajectory of decline. We had to intervene strategically. In 2009, we began to engage the Afenifere Social-Cultural Renewal Group with what we call the Dialogue of the Nobles. The basis of our dialogues was the geopolitical restructuring of Nigeria. We were driven by the need to return to the foundations led by Chief Obafemi Awolowo and to begin a renegotiation of our union through the lens of the founding vision. We understood that the social-cultural groupings that had formed the basis of the First Republic and the biogeographical diversity that underpinned them needed to be reasserted in our governance structure. Then came 2010, a pivotal year in our national history that brought the structural gaps in our constitution to the fore. The Save Nigeria group emerged to protest the effects of these structural gaps and to advance geopolitical structural reforms. Following the resolution of the power hijack crisis through the doctrine of necessity, we began to engage the new government of President Goodluck Jonathan on the geopolitical restructuring imperative. We developed the contract to save and transform Nigeria, launched at the Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua Center on May 5, 2010, with a primary objective, the geopolitical restructuring of Nigeria. With this document, we began to engage the President Goodluck Jonathan government on what we call the irreducible minimum below which no Nigerian should be subjected. When we could not obtain from that administration the commitment we needed to restructure Nigeria, we broadened our engagements to other political stakeholders. We were in search of only one thing: leadership committed to giving Nigeria a geopolitical structure that will harmonize the geosocial diversity and optimize the geo-economic opportunities that can be harnessed by every Nigerian. By 2013, the Save Nigeria Group received a delegation from the President, led by his then Special Advisor on Research, Documentation and Strategy, the now late Oronto Douglas, to dialogue on the way forward. We recommended the convening of a national conference. Nobody knew we were responsible for it because we don't show up, we don't tell everything what we have done behind the scene. Time will tell. By God's grace, on August the 2nd, we're going to present all that we have done for 18 years of thought, of planning, in 3 volumes of strategic intervention in governance and the roles we played behind the scene. We recommended the convening of a national conference. This was a critical moment in our engagement. When the 2014 national conference was convened by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, we continued these engagements as delegates. We sponsored the Nigerian Charter on National Integration and Reconciliation, which aimed to foster the geosocial harmony of the diverse constituents. I would like to tell you that the entire 2014 National Conference adopted that charter. In the Committee on Geopolitical Structure and Forms of Government, led by General Ike Nwachukwu, we continue to advocate the geopolitical structure that could guarantee this. It was amid these engagements that the vision became crystal clear. We needed to build an economic basis for the case for an appropriate governmental structure. Beyond the rhetoric of social-cultural identity and solidarity, and beyond the political and ideological imperative, we must meet at the table of brotherhood and reduce restructuring to something as simple as bread and butter issues. We needed to begin to take the restructuring conversation back to the interaction of the economic potentials of the diverse zones of this country. We needed to highlight the questions of economies of scale and scope in the restructuring discourse. Working with my think tank, we began to develop a pragmatic approach to restructuring Nigeria that will gradually wean the subnationals off the federal allocation baby milk and boost the economic viability of the states. This was when the seed of the concept of geo-economic optimization was sown. Citadel School of Government, whose think tank component now champions this discourse, recognizes that in reforming, we must build on what works. As Edmund Burke reminds us, a disposition to preserve and an ability to improve, taken together, will be my standard of a statesman. I'm further reminded of a quote by an anonymous author: "We do not build tomorrow's triumphs by scattering the bricks of yesterday. True statesmanship is an architecture of discovery, searching the landscape for where the foundation holds firm, and building our highest towers upon the stones that have already withstood the storm." I had the privilege of presenting a lecture that almost took my life on Saturday at the Sheffield Hallam University. And the emphasis most of the time is that it's the older generation that are ruining Nigeria's economy, that are ruining Nigeria politically and otherwise. I stood there to challenge the professors and these wonderful academics. I said to them, majority of those who took over power were in their 30s when they did. But power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. A nation seeking a new course cannot carve a canyon out of dry sand. We must find the deep, quiet currents of success that are already moving beneath us, marry ourselves to their proven strength, and let that native momentum carry us into uncharted waters. Ladies and gentlemen, it is for this reason that Lagos State provides the context for our engagement. We searched through the country. We did our own research too. Lagos State is a pointer to what works, a model of what could be emulated, a demonstration of what is possible and what could be improved upon. I'm not saying everything in Lagos is perfect, is straightforward. No, we can improve upon it. As Nigeria's most economically viable state and a model of progressive continuity in development planning and execution throughout the Fourth Republic so far, from the administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to that of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Lagos State offers a compelling basis for national reflection and dialogue. Its story is one of ongoing geo-economic success, demonstrating how strategic vision, institutional continuity, and sustained investment can transform a subnational entity into a globally relevant economic hub. More importantly, it points to what is possible across Nigeria's geopolitical and geo-economic zones, inspiring the emergence of multiple centers of prosperity capable of connecting the nation to vibrant regional and global economic blocs. In this sense, Lagos serves not merely as a success story, but as a proof of concept for the creation of several world-class economic hubs across Nigeria. I like to call it 6 potential Dubais in the making, each drawing on the unique strengths and comparative advantages of its region. That's why we are honored to have the Executive Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu as our keynote speaker at this maiden summit to unpack the geo-economic hub that Lagos models from southwest Nigeria to the globe. We are glad to have the governor, and we are eager to learn, to inquire, to dialogue, and to be further equipped with tools for continuous strategic interventions as responsible citizens. Thank you as you pay rapt attention to the governor's keynote address. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Can we put our hands together for the founder and board chair, Citadel School of Government, Pastor Tunde Bakari. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think he deserves a better round of applause as we have our seats. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us a chronological overview of Nigeria's geopolitical history, contextualizing it within the context of geo-economic optimization. That was indeed very beautiful, and thank you very much, sir, for setting the tone for further conversations this afternoon. Can we please put our hands together for Mr. Gov, for Pastor Tunde Bakari one more time? Thank you. In a few minutes, we are going to have the keynote address, after which we are going to have an interaction with Mr. Governor, and then we'll take it up from there. But just before then, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lagos State. We acknowledge your presence, Mr. Benga Omotosho. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We also like to acknowledge the Managing Director, Ibile Holdings, Otumba Tobi Lawal. Thank you very much. We acknowledge your presence. We also like to acknowledge the presence of the representative of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, here present. Can we please put our hands together for the representative? Thank you very much. And I also like to acknowledge the presence of the students of the prestigious Lagos State University. I want to believe LASU students are here. If you're here, can you make some noise? Yeah. Amazing. Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yes. You are welcome. Yes. We acknowledge you. Thank you. Thank you. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, after the keynote address, we are going to have a sit-down conversation with Mr. Governor where we interact with him. But right now, we are about to have an excellent leader, a dynamic gentleman who is piloting the affairs of the Center of Excellence, making it the Center of Excellence that it is. We are about to have a man who, through strategic leadership, intentional, responsive, and responsible leadership, is continuously placing Lagos on the path of continuous progress, layer by layer, brick by brick, through innovation and investment in healthcare, infrastructure, education, agriculture, and a lot more. We call him Mr. Infrastructure. We call him Mr. Blue Line. We call him Mr. Red Line. We call him Mr. Sellable. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I respectfully invite and welcome the Executive Governor of Lagos State as he comes forward to give his speech, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Can we put our hands together for Mr. Governor, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. We are LASU. Great Akokai. I like the energy in the room. The chairman, the founder, and the board chairman of the Citadel School of Government, a true Nigerian, a man that I have tremendous respect for, a leader of people, a completely detribalized Nigerian, an elder statesman by his own stature, a lover of mankind, and a lover of God. My uncle, my big uncle, Pastor Tunde Bakare. And his amiable wife, Pastor Mrs. Laide Bakare. Together, they are championing, they are leading the conversation of this country, using the young, dynamic youth that we have. God bless you, sir. God bless you, ma. God will continue to honor you. And God will continue to give you the inspiration, the strength, the fearlessness to continue to speak truth to power at all times. Members of the State Executive Council that are here, both current and former, I want to acknowledge all of you. Thank you very much. Members of the board of Citadel School of Government here present, heads of government agencies that are here, the executive director of University of Lagos Business School, Professor Adebisi, other distinguished professors that are here. The real applause today is to the first cohort of the Citadel. I want to see the 70 of you. You're not shouting enough. You're not loud enough. I need to bring you to my leadership school. I've seen one or two like Chief Jakonde here. We have a way when we shout even louder. I think we want you to take it up. Citadel School of Government, please speak a big shout-out. It's for you today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. All other distinguished invited guests, the great Nigerian students that are here in this room, each and every one of you acknowledge you. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it's very intentional for me today that I decided to come in my 1,500 white agbada. I do not want to miss who is a politician and who is attempting or who is not. I decided to come not in a suit, but in a flowing agbada to explain to you that we're in a democratic process. And as a politician, I stand here representing that class to speak truth to you and to be able to use this platform for all of us to connect and reconnect. And so I want to first thank all of you for graciously, setting out whatever busy schedule you have to be part of this event here today. But before I go into my speech, there's just a few comments that I've picked up. First, I want to acknowledge and thank the Executive Director for the Business School of University of Lagos. Thank you very much for a very deep analysis of all of the things that we're doing. Thankfully, the Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning is here, and he had sent me a text that indeed he has a means of engaging further with you. Not only have you spoken all of the numbers as it is today, you've also further challenged us. But interestingly, like I did mention to my uncle Pastor Bakare, I'm also building, maybe you don't know, the School of Entrepreneurship Studies. I'm the one doing that construction for the University of Lagos. Just so that I don't cause katakata, and I'm also the visitor to LASU. In LASU, I'm also building the School of Geographic and Information Science and Fiscal Planning block there. That's the building that is also coming up there. But more importantly, is to really thank you, the challenge that you have given to us, and I will also share some of the numbers, with you in the course of this address. And of course, you know that I was also privileged, not only in my first degree, I was also privileged that I was in the MBA executive class about 25 years ago. So we're always, always happy that University of Lagos continues to take its pride of place. But you know, as a visitor to LASU, I'll continue to balance it because it's also my first call. And also to our executive director of the Citadel School of Government, Mr. Omoaho. Thank you. You finally have your hands raised down after almost 9 months. But you are also very right, because the lecture that I gave at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs have also brought me closer to them. And I'm also building for them a school of policy, and strategic studies at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. There is no basis for a leader if a leader is not about intellectual conversation, if it is not putting back into the learning environment that we've all been privileged to be part of. And so the minimum that I can do is to look for a citadel, as in citadel of learning in our institutions, and as leaders, you throw something back at them, because it's only after you leave that the true measure of leadership can indeed be felt. And so it's an honor for me. But my final remark before I go into my speech is to thank Pastor Bakare. What you have done in the last 30 minutes or so is if you have helped me, as if I was conceiving it, to analyze very eloquently and clearly the journey and the history of this country in a geo-economic perspective, where you've been able to take it forward in the challenges and the prospect that we've seen, especially looking at the context of Nigeria and how you've been able to take it into the Southwest geopolitical zone. You have helped my very humble 777 pages that I'm going to construct and take it down to only 77, because you have really, really helped me to answer some of the very critical concerns that we have. And why not, if not? You are older, you are better informed, God has equipped you with knowledge, with the right spirit, with the right sense, to be able to continue to deep dive into the conversations of this country. And want to thank God for your very deep knowledge, understanding, and also to mention that MKO Abiola, my brother, is here, the first son. Egmonkola, thank you very much. Abiola is here. To say, especially to the younger brothers and sisters that are here, that there is no complete conversation politically about this country if MKO Abiola's story is not put in there. There is none. And we will continue to put that narrative out correctly, transparently, so that we can do justice to history. So that some of you who are also coming up, in 1993, I was under 30, I was 27 or 26, as it were then. So you can see that I'm in the age of a lot of you in this room here today, and you can imagine the pain that we all went through then, and 35, 36 years further down the line, you can understand and appreciate whilst it's still part of the conversation that we need to have and put that record and that history properly. Because MKO, for us growing up, was a real symbol of what democratic, journey, was and is. And so I want to thank you. And please, to the Abiola family, you continue to have your rightful place in the story and in the journey of our country. So thank you very much also. And so this afternoon, I'm actually truly privileged that this is your first lecture, in the Citadel Government School of Government. And you see, it's very intentional, School of Government, coming out from a pastoral lineage. It speaks a lot. it speaks a whole lot that indeed you want, to have something that would outlive you. Because governance in itself, it's a continuum. You want to put in something back into the system that it is not about what you believe, it's about what our country and the future generations will truly, really, really see. So thank you very much, and I'm honored and privileged that they've asked me to come and share a few thoughts with you. And so from southwest Nigeria to the globe, Lagos State has a geo-economic hub. Let me begin once again by commending Pastor Tunde Bakare and the leadership of the Citadel Global Community Church for this visionary initiative, the Citadel School of Government. Pastor Bakare has long earned his place as one of the boldest and one of the most forthright voices in our nation. A man unafraid to speak truth to power, and one who has steadfastly challenged the dangerous myth that pulpit and the public sphere must be kept apart. He understands better than most that the calling of a church is not to pontificate from a safe distance, but to involve itself directly into the structures and systems through which lasting change can be made. It is in truth a living demonstration of what our Lord Jesus Christ thought in the 5th chapter of the New Testament of Matthew. You are the salt of the earth. Salt do not work remotely. It does not labor from a distance. It makes itself felt only by entering fully into the mix. And if you push the passage further, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. They put it on its stand, and it gives light for everyone in the house. And so, like salt, light too cannot serve at a distance. It gives its best only when it's present in a room and it's unhindered. Pastor Bakare, sir, you have demonstrated this truth by example, not at least when you stepped into the national stage, which you talked about in various levels, in various spheres. The most profound being your ambition to be a vice presidential candidate with the late Muhammadu Buhari in 2011 presidential election. And so at the launch of this school and its flagship program in September 2025, you set out a mission that bears repeating: to raise nation builders, leaders grounded in values and equipped with competencies to champion the cutting-edge philosophy of governance across diverse spheres of public leadership. I unquote. And so what the Citadel is doing here is quite simple. God's work. God's work, using it to sustain a pipeline of salt and light to transform our country, to transform our state, Lagos, and by extension to transform the world. You deserve another big round of applause, sir. And so for me, this mission resonates deeply with what we stand for and what I've been preaching in Lagos State. We also birthed the Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy about 3 years ago, which was named after one of the finest public administrators this country has ever produced, and who was the first elected governor of our state. I looked around when he passed on, and I said, what other thing can you give Lateef Jakonde? There's Lateef Jakonde School, there's market, there's road, there's everywhere, there is everything you can imagine. Lateef Jakonde has his name written. And I said, it has to be a leadership school where his name can outlive all of us. I'm sure there's still one of them. I've seen one or two of the cohorts of Lateef Jakonde leadership here. And I say that I feel very much at home here in an institution that shares my conviction that leadership must be built upon values, and that the surest investment any society can make is the generation that comes after it. And I've been asked here to speak on the theme from Southwest Nigeria to the globe, Lagos State as economic hub. I must confess, there's a little that excites me more than speaking about the strength and the promise of this dear state, whose affairs God and providence has permitted me to steer since May 29th, 2019. And so today, in fact, marks my 2,579th day in office. And by the grace of Almighty God, I have remaining only 343 days left in that office. I count the days, I count the time. No matter how well I do, is a day with history. At the end of the 343 days, I will take a bow. I intend to spend every of that with the same passion, the same determination, and the spirit of service with which I began. And so I'll ask you to permit me now to come to the heart of the Lagos as a geo-economic hub. We're in an era where geo-economics, and why now? Let me first say what I mean by geo-economic hub. Geo-economics is a deliberate use of economic instrument. It's used for trade investment, for infrastructure, for finance, for technology, and talent hunt. It's used to project influence and to secure prosperity in a world where the geography and economics can no longer be separated. In our age, the map of power is increasingly drawn on ports and in pipelines, in data centers, in supply chains, as much as in treaties and also in territories. And as we're living through a moment of profound realignment, global supply chains are being redrawn. Nations are restoring and they are reshaping their industries. Capital is being moved everywhere. It's becoming more discerning. And there's a fierce competition for the trust of investors, for talent of young, dynamic minds. And so in a such world, the places that prosper will be those that command strategic positioning. It will be places that have dependable infrastructure. It will be places that have sound infrastructure, institutions, and it will be places that have capable people. We believe Africa, which is home to the youngest population on earth and to the largest free trade area in the world, Africa sits at the very center of this story. And within Africa, I make the case to you today that Lagos stands at that fulcrum. Lagos is a subnational economy that carries the weight of a nation. And they've said it over and over here this afternoon. The economy and the GDP of Lagos is bigger than all the other countries in West Africa alone, but we'll talk about that. Lagos contributes roughly a third of Nigeria's gross domestic products, and we're Africa's second largest metropolitan economy, recently just behind Cairo. We've got an output in excess of about $259 billion on purchase parity basis. We'll never fail to say this, that if Lagos were a country on its own, we've said so, before the rebasing, it was the fourth or the fifth largest in the whole of Africa. Now it's about the seventh, and it's a big giant within the African Union. Our views are also not just perspective. We are genuinely diversified in our economic base in Lagos. We have services accounting for more than 85% of our real output. We've got deep access in finance, in technology, in trade, in logistics, in the creative industry, and of course in blue economy. That diversification is not by accident. It is resilience of its people which was designed deliberately to ensure that we can absorb shocks in whatever spheres we found ourselves. Lagos is not a monoproduct dependent. It's not waiting on just one resource line. Lagos has been blessed by several resources in finance, in trade, in blue economy, in the creative industry, in logistics, so that it has channels and various opportunities. But what are the geography, the history, and the identity of Lagos? Like every great city, Lagos is part of a product of its own geography. It's a settlement that emerged from the lagoons and from the ocean, a place of island and wetland that has creeks and beaches. Do you know that 1/3 of Lagos is also surrounded by water? Lagos is less than 0.35% of the landmass of this country. I didn't say 0.5, less than 0.35% of the landmass of this country, of which 1/3 of it is water. But over 10% of the population squeezes into this city. It's an extreme, it is within the extreme southwestern corner of the country. Geography, they say, is not destiny. It is really silent. It shapes the outcomes of people that they can reach. And so our position as an Atlantic doorway in Nigeria and to the landlocked countries of not only the country but West Africa within the Sahel, which must define our early history as a gateway. It is an uncomfortable truth that the same position once made Lagos one of the busiest slave trading ports in the world. Of course, we know that the history of Lagos and the Badagry coasts, are part of our long histories that has not lost on us. The abolition of this dark part of Lagos continues to linger also with us. Moving on, Lagos was opportune in the early centuries to be part of a base for palm oil, for groundnuts, cocoa, and cotton. And of course, with the emergence of oil in the 1960s, all of that changed. And today, enterprises like the Dangote refinery, which we all know, now sits in Lagos. Lagos exports refined petroleum and petrochemical products to other parts of the world. And with each succeeding wave of trade comes with its challenges, comes with its wealth opportunity, and comes with its irresistible magnetism that has drawn people from every corner of the world, from every corner of the country, from every corner of the southwest geopolitical zone into this city-state called Lagos. And so the figures, they tell the tale. Our population was under 1 million before 1960. I'm sure it's difficult for people to know. And that population that was under 1 million grew to over 4 million by 1980. Today, that population is inching closer to 25 million. A pace of growth that has placed it firmly among the world's mega cities and that presses relentless pressure on its infrastructure and the services. No matter how well we draw it, Engineer Abide can tell you there's a lot of pressure on the infrastructure in Lagos. Small in landmass, but mighty in demographic and economic weight. Lagos has always lived in the intersection of its identity, a coastal economy and a proud member of the southwest political region. A city of islands that is nurtured by a protecting mainland, a place of deep indigenous roots that has now become a melting point for a whole lot of people that calls it home. Our constitutional story is no less distinctive. From much of our colonial era, we stood apart as the colony of Lagos. Before the amalgamation of the northern and southern protectorate, there was a colony of Lagos. So no be today. So that colony of Lagos was in existence before Lord Lugard merged us in 1914. And in 1967, we also became part of the 12 states of the country. And I'll be joining other Lagosians to celebrate 60 years of Lagos by this time next year. We believe we're also fully, and we're fully proud of the southwestern part of Nigeria, even as we treasure that long history of our independence. And so what do we see from the southwestern region to our country? Here I want to suggest that our geo-economic role is best understood as a series of widening circles, each larger than the last one, beginning, of course, with the southwestern region. In recent years, and in a deliberate affirmation that we belong fully to our zone, Lagos State took up membership by shareholding in the very famous, well-put-together Odua Group, the regional conglomerate that shares with our border states, including Ogun State, Oyo State, Ondo State, Osun State, and Ekiti. We're now a very active member of that group. We're also a very active member of the Dawn Commission, which is the developmental agenda of Western Nigeria. And of course, the newly created Southwest Development Commission of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's regime. We regard this not as ceremonial, but as a scaffolding of genuine regional integration. The next circle is the nation itself, as Nigeria's commercial and financial nerve center and its busiest gateway for investment. Lagos carries a responsibility that reaches far beyond its own borders. We believe that when Lagos works, Southwest is working, and by extension, Nigeria is working. And in a larger context, in the West African Geo-Economic Hub, the third circle is within the West Africa. This is where the World Hub ends its place in our story. We are the home to Nigeria's biggest airport and seaport. We have complementary historic ports in Apapa and Tinkan, and of course, with a new brand one in the Lekki Deep Sea Port, the deepest and the most automated ports in our country. We believe this positions Lagos to compete favorably with other ports of similar sizes globally. And so it presents us as a gateway, economic gateway for West African sub-region. It precisely presents a very unique opportunity also for the African continental free trade area. Lagos positioned itself to be able to seize the regional hub of West Africa and position itself well in sub-Saharan African region. And so we see that the opportunities, a lot of people are taking it up. The Dangote refinery that I mentioned today in our free zone has the single largest refinery train in the world, with 650 barrels of oil being processed on a daily basis. This has created a new norm in the whole world, because now we see that fuel that are being produced in Lagos from that refinery are being sold in different parts of the world. In fact, it's been said recently that Dangote refinery is the largest producer of jet fuel globally in the entire world now. And so the same free zone has become one of the fastest growing industrial and residential frontline in Africa, with landmarks development like the Alaro City, the Lagos New Town development, the new airports, and several other auxiliary roads and connections that are happening. And as also on the eastern side, our new frontier is to see how Lagos also develops into Badagry, and the western part of the state. That's why you see us pushing investment on the Lagos-Badagry Express route, where we're building the famous Blue Line, and we're extending and opening up the corridor because we believe that we should not develop only in one part. We see a hub that must move people from one point to the other. We are therefore noting that we need to create a connectivity where a city-state in whatever part you are, you can move freely. The blue line, the red line is carrying people from different parts of the city to the other parts. We believe in that the green line, which we have secured counterpart funding with the federal government, will also start. The purple line, which just yesterday, the European Development Bank and the African Development Bank have also committed, will also be integrated. But the beauty of all of these lines, is that we're also making inroads and we're penetrating into Ogun State. You know that the only neighbor we have, apart from Atlantic Ocean, is Ogun State. That's the only place we can push our development to. And the purple line that I mentioned is actually going right into Ogun State, into the Mowe, and going to the Ibafo, all the way to Shagamu, straight into Ogun State. On power, the binding constraints of African industry, we have enacted our own electricity law and will begin to build a competitive state electricity market so that reliable energy can be part of our everyday life. It shouldn't be the luxury of a few. We're ensuring that we're underpinning this in our fiscal discipline measure. We're ensuring that Lagos continue to receive national scale of AAA rating for sustainability and reliance. A proof that it's a place where contracts are honored and where partnerships are safe. I therefore mentioned also that just 2 weeks ago, we completed what we consider was one of the most advertised and successful investment, the Invest Lagos 3.0, which attracted a lot of global and intercontinental investors and investment into Lagos. And the beauty of it was that we did not just let investment remain in Lagos. We had a session that included other governors so that everybody can make a pitch and we can reduce some of the burden in Lagos, and we can also let the opportunity also go into other parts and other states in the country. We see a Lagos that is designed by innovation and entrepreneurship. Its ports and its refineries are the muscle of our economy. Its innovative markets makes it the fintech hub in Africa. 5 of the 7 unicorns coming out of Africa are all situated in Lagos. Lagos continues to remain the most investment destination for tech startups in the whole of Africa and indeed part of the world. We've seen hundreds of millions of dollars in domestic and foreign capital each year into the city. We have hinted more unicorns, particularly in the fintech industry. We've seen that last year alone, Lagos attracted over 65% of foreign direct investment that were coming into the country. Lagos is also now competing with big cities like Mumbai and Bangalore and Istanbul to be able to generate tech startups that we're seeing globally. We have the ideas, you have the talent, you have the energy. We'll assure you that we believe that the journey should begin with Lagos. Lagos also have soft power and it also have spiritual influence. We say culture is not footnote in our story. It is central to who we are. Lagos is home to Nollywood, the world's largest film industry by volume. An industry that has made city landmarks such as the Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge, the Civic Center. You see them as recognizable, icons globally. And very, very shortly, your own Okpebi-Ojota Link Bridge as well will become an iconic masterpiece for you. It's just right next to you here. Lagos is a wellspring of Afrobeats. It redefines the world music map, rooted in rhythm and in aspiration of our many young people here in this room. Our literature, our fashion, our dance, our drama are all part of a larger Lagos and the continental story. As a government, we are answering that promise with action. We partnered with the federal government and with the Bankers Committee to also restore the National Arts Theatre in Igomu. We believe that Lagos will continue to work with the private sector to determine and to develop other film cities, that we're seeing the opportunity in Epe and its environs. Lagos being the birthplace of some of the world's largest and most impactful spiritual institutions, we believe that Lagos also draws its presence to our various visitors. It's a search of succor, and that's why this great church, Citadel of governance, is also one of the places that we'll continue to cherish. Its architecture with a magnificent auditorium at the Citadel Global Community Church he hosts here today reshapes also our skyline. Let's give Citadel another big round of applause. And so the fourth cycle of our global ambition. Lagos is already moving with confidence, both from Lagos Island to Victoria Island. Our banks, our financial institutions are not merely eyeing the world, but they are entering it. You've seen that from Lagos, a lot of our financial institutions are now global players in various cities and countries in Africa. They've opened up offices in various parts of the world. They are now the major source of financial payments and financial solutions. Lagos is also rising from the Atlantic. The Eco-Atlantic is one of our earnest pursuits of an ambition for us to have our own Manhattan of Africa. Lagos also is building an international financial center. We're seeing that the aspiration of an LIFC is going beyond just the progress, where we will be building a purpose-built district that would mark Lagos as a truly global hub that would unmistakably put Africa's continent as a financial capital globally. This is why some of the very essence of our geo-economic argument that Lagos as a sub-national government has enough to nibble the axe and to be able to be part of the world stage, to court global partners and to host global events of its own. I'm sure you also remember that last year, Lagos was the first host of the world's E1 race, which was also one of the very first time coming into Africa. We're hoping that we also can host a second series of that E1 later in the year. Lagos, we believe, will also be host to the Canex Festival later in the year, and will also be host to the Premium Intra-Africa Trade come year 2027. So these are some of the things that continue to make Lagos, the investment destination of choice, not only locally, but globally. For while the African Continental Free Trade Area unites about 1.5 billion people, the inter-Africa trade still counts for only about 6 of that, far below what we see in other continents of the world. But we believe that with settlements like the Pan-African payment systems, Lagos and indeed African cities are positioning themselves to also become the payment gateway engines globally. It's also important for me to mention, as part of the things that we've done, and I think it was Professor Adebisi that mentioned it, when we came in 7 years ago, the budget of Lagos was under 700 billion. In fact, it was a budget of about 680. At the end of that year, we closed the budget at about 820. This current year, with a budget of shared prosperity, we have moved 5 folds to a budget of 4.2 trillion. Not only are we pushing those numbers, apart from the year 2020 that we had the COVID pandemic, where our budget performance was under 75%, it was 73.5 in the year 2020 because of COVID. There has been no year that we have done less than 85% of our budget. Indeed, last year, we did 91% of our budget. And so these are estimates that we push and ensure that they come to reality, on a year-on-year basis for our citizens. And this year, with a budget of shared prosperity, we believe that it's a budget that is committed to touch the life of every citizen of Lagos in one form or the other under our Teams Plus agenda. But realize we cannot do it alone, and we cannot stand, with one leg alone. I think it was the late MK Abiola that used to say that you cannot clap with one hand. Is that not so? Yes, we need both hands to be able to clap. And that's why we also want to look at our federal strategy. We believe that no honest account of our progress will be complete without acknowledging the support of the federal government, particularly in infrastructure. Two of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's national legacy projects, one, the Lagos to Calabar Coastal Highway, which is a 700-kilometer highway, and the Sokoto-Badagry Super Highway, which is meant to be about 1,000-kilometer, are part of the infrastructural development that will also change completely, the current economic structure and economic viability of Lagos to other parts of the country. The development and the construction of these two roads have started, and we want to thank Mr. President for seeing the need for him to work with our state government in this. But yet, like Oliver Twist, we will always eager for more. We'll continue to press the case for Lagos to be designated for special status. Since the federal government left about 35 years ago, Lagos continues to carry the national pressure, the brunt of being a capital with immense pressure, which hosts over 10% of our population. We believe Lagos deserves that recognition and will continue to seek a constitutional provision until when Lagos can be listened to. An honest reckoning is that I would like to use this audience to say a lot of other things, but time also will not permit. But I think it's important for me to say that greatness is not in the absence of difficulty. It is in the discipline of confronting it honestly. We believe that our infrastructure deficits are still there. We believe that we can still do a lot more than we have done. We believe that there's still a lot of opportunity, of especially the young people, some of you in this room, that we can partner and work with. We believe that, the energy and the opportunity in Lagos does not rest only with government. We believe that with a government that continues to work and partner with the private sector to continue to ensure that the roles of governance is to ensure everybody comes on the table and we review our partnership, that Lagos can be a better place for each and every one of us. We believe that rapid urbanization presents a lot of pressure on housing. It presents a lot of pressure on public transportation, and it presents a lot of pressure even on waste management. And so I will not stand here to say that it is hooray or all is well. We believe that with the energy that we see, with the opportunity that is bound, with the interest that is being generated, Lagos can indeed be taken to the next level and be part of a community of nations where resilience, where growth, where opportunity can be given, especially to the younger ones, to the younger generations that are coming behind us, as a belief and as a source of inspiration for them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what is our way forward? What is the vision that we see? What is the narration that I think we need to end with? What does the future hold for us? We believe, like Pastor Bakari had said, we've been pretty lucky with successive governance and government in Lagos. We've seen a trajectory of continuity, which has been one of the strongest contributors to the giant and the leap-bound development we're seeing in Lagos. From 1999, when Mr. President was the 12th governor of the state, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to the government of Babatunde Raji Fashola, to the government of Akinwumi Ambode, and to our own humbled government in the last 7 years under our Teams Plus agenda. We believe that the development of Lagos has remained consistent, has remained on track, and has remained people-focused. That's why we have also taken a very strong, audacious steps by putting forward a Lagos Development Plan 2052, which will also be a document that will be reviewed every 5 years to push Lagos, on the level of continuous infrastructure development, to push Lagos on the continuous human-centric center of the world. Let me explain further. We see a Lagos by the year 2050 that will become the human-centric capital of the world, where every country globally, a Microsoft, a Nvidia, a ChatGPT, whatever name they have, in whatever form, they can think of recruiting 1,000 engineers, they think of Lagos. They can think of recruiting 1,000 tech startups, they can think of Lagos. They can think of recruiting 1,000 cinematographers, they can think of recruiting 1,000 filmmakers, think of Lagos. That is the vision that we want to put forward. That is the vision for year 2052 because of the demography of the young people that we see. Because we believe that Africa will be the engine growth of the world. Because we believe that Africa will be the change that is needed globally. The future of work is here in Africa, and if it is in Africa, it's in the country of Nigeria. And if it's in the country of Nigeria, Lagos plays a pivotal and a primary role. And that's why Lagos must take that lead, that position in which what you're doing here in the Citadel School of Governance sits very, very well with the vision of any forward-looking government, sits very well with the vision of any government that truly, really wants to leave landmark generational growth to its people, to be able to develop the next level of leaders, government leaders, public sector, private sector leaders, and see the path and the channel of development. That's why I cannot but commend and thank you. Our own Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy, they are in their third session. This is the third cohort that are building, and we go to every part of the country to develop or to look for them. The next set that is coming up in September, there was a total of 21,500 people that online applied for the leadership school, and at the end of the day, we're going to be selecting additional next level of 30, cohorts that will be on a 1 year, because the Lateef Jakonde Academy is for 1 year, full-time, leadership school in which they are taught and they are trained and they are exposed to every leadership, platform, every leadership pillar, just so that they become a better person, a better citizen, a better individual. And I believe it sits well with what the Citadel Leadership School of Government is also trying to do. And I think, given this opportunity, I think these are the minimum everybody that is in a position of leadership needs to do. It's only when we can replicate and be part of that future that we see that we can truly, really begin to build the Nigerian of our dream, that we can truly give the opportunity to the generations that are coming behind us. Because we need to stop the lip service. We know that the younger generation are in Africa. We've said it over and over, that 70% of under 35 are in Africa. And if the future of work must come from this continent, we need to begin to develop that skill, that competence, that capacity from here today. Pastor Bakare, thank you very, very much for this visionary, growth that you've set forward. And I believe that is the right thing to do. And so as I close, let me close with a charge to all of our investors, to all of our partners. Once again, that Lagos is open. Lagos is ready. And Lagos rewards those who build with us. To our young people, the future we have described this afternoon is a future for you. It's a future that we believe you need to inherit. We believe it's a future that will prepare you for that world that you see. And to my fellow leaders across the Southwest and the wider nation, let us think regionally. Let us act strategically, but let us cooperate generously. For no single state captures the whole prize alone. Lagos is willing to work with all of my colleagues in this region. Lagos is best positioned to lead, and we want to offer ourselves to the service of this region. Lagos is fully ready to partner with all of our sister states. Of course, geographically, Ogun has the best of the opportunity, but all the other states, are equally opportune and have the space for us to collaborate. We're building the largest food hub in the country. We've sought to ask for farmland in Osun State, in Ondo State, where we can grow and we can bring the produce to Lagos. That's one of the strategic interventions that we can do. And so from the southwest corner of Nigeria, standing on the shoulders of our geography, standing with our great human capital, our people, and standing on the institutions that we've built. By the way, just to mention, next week we're also opening the new Premier Hotel in Ibadan that was refurbished and redesigned and rebuilt by the Odua Group. It's on Thursday this coming week, and everybody that can find their way to Ibadan, you see the brand new Premier Hotel as one of our regional interventions again for the Southwest region. And so, to borrow the language of our gracious host, we mean to be salt and light, a city that is set upon a hill whose light cannot be hidden and whose gives light to all who are in the house. I want to thank once again the Citadel School of Government for this platform. I thank Pastor Tunde Bakare. I thank Mrs. Bakare for your gracious hospitality, and I thank you most sincerely for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Can we put our hands together for... Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think Mr. Governor deserves a better round of applause. You may please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we just listened to Mr. Governor, and we promised that we are going to have a moment of interaction with him. Immediately after this interaction, a short video is going to be displayed on the screen, and then we would have a special presentation to him. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, can we put our hands together for Mr. Governor? It's indeed a great honor to sit with you, sir, to have this interaction with you. A few people have asked a number of questions here, and I'd like to bring them to your attention, sir. A part of your closing remark was about the things that Lagos State and other Southwest states are doing to develop the Southwest. But somebody is asking that Lagos is a clear leader in the Southwest. What is Lagos doing to influence other Southwestern states to achieve this kind of development that Lagos State has? That is by Akin Ladipo.
Well, thank you very much, Akin. There are 36 states in the country, and every subnational is governed by an executive governor. We're all colleagues with equal rights and privileges. We've all had different challenges, different opportunities, and we all have different measures, of leadership. What we have done in the Southwest is for each and every one of us to appreciate and to acknowledge that we've all come with different skills and competencies. But at the end of the day, is to ask ourselves that what is in the center of what we're trying to do is our people. How do we ensure that we serve our people better, we serve our people with everything we have, and we do it with fear of God? So I continue to express that here, and I believe my other colleagues, especially in the Southwest, also have similar aspiration. We do peer review, quite frankly, and there's a whole lot of things that we've done behind the scene, especially within security and the rest of it, that it might not be that obvious, to the general public. They've had conversation using the Dawn Commission for us to have, for example, a rail connectivity that will move from Lagos, go to Ogun, all the way and get to Osun. All of these things we have designing, but that the budgetary, strength of everybody is also different. We've also even come up with a solution, for example, and the three of us said that why can't we lit up Lagos-Ibadan Express Road between Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo, and raise funding so that 24/7, especially over the night, that express road is completely lit up, and that's a conversation and like a kind of collaboration that we have. But speaking very directly, because like I did mention, it's only two borders that I have, Atlantic Ocean and Ogun State. So that with Ogun State, short of trying to take over half of it, we do a lot of collaboration. My last mark going to Ogun State, my fire service goes to Ogun State. Anytime there's a need, for support that is required, the governor and myself have that open door in which we engage each other and we're able to, and even our security architecture, the Zone 2, senior police officer oversees the 2 states, the GOC oversees the 2 states. So there's so many things that Ogun and ourselves can do, together. But on a broader scale is to look at what can other Southwest states do for us that we have a comparative advantage on. And I've mentioned it in the course of my speech. We have the request for land in this other state. We're doing rice farming. We have opportunity to do all the other produce in which we'll do what we call an offtake. There's a program we're calling Produce for Lagos. We've signed some agreement with some northern states. We will still come to the south where produces can be offtake and brought into Lagos market and ensure that we can feed our people in Lagos. We don't have land. Apart from you people that are doing, city farming behind your farm just to pluck potato and small, large-scale farming that we need to feed, the population we have, we need to go outside of the state. So the conversation is never lost on us. We always have that collaboration. And like I did mention, next week, Thursday, we're opening the new Premier Hotel, which is one of our historic investment way back from the era of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. It's now being rebuilt, to the glory of the region, and you will all see it when, on Thursday when it's being unveiled. So these are some of the things that, we do. But everybody has different strengths, that they bring to the table, and we'll appreciate that for one another. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Another anonymous person here is asking, we have heard of the big numbers, we have heard of the things that Lagos State is doing. How do young people benefit from this directly?
Well, thank you. Like we said, there's several interventions of government, and I can roll out 4 or 5 of them here now, right? We have what we call the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Incidentally, their office is not far from here. Their office is off Oregun, Billings Way. I think I'm right. Lagos State Employment Trust Fund today has intervened in over 40,000 companies, MSMEs. And what do? They give single-digit loan. They help you to write your business proposal. They help you to optimize your CVs. They give you vouchers, free vouchers to sit in a hub, in a tech hub, and you can solve the internet for 30 days free of charge. They give you training that you require to better be able to plan your business model. They handhold you to be able to design what you require. So they don't have 100 million to give you, but I think they give between 5, 10, 20, 30 million. And it's there. And I'm saying to you that they've supported close to 40,000 businesses. Lagos State Employment, go on their website as we speak. So that is a direct intervention that you can do. That's one. Secondly, we have what we'll also call Lagos State Science and Research Council. What do they do? This is headed by the former Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos. We have research grants. We have research grants. Anybody that has any idea, you want to do tech startups, you want to anything you can imagine that you believe you have an innovative idea. If you approach the fund, we're given grants. This one, they don't even give loan. They give grants. 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. I've given checks of 30 million to people. It's there. Go online again. It's some of my colleagues are here. Lagos State Science and Research Council. It's an independent council. We'll give them a bulk amount of check. And so you just need to scale up and find out where exactly you want to play. Some of the patents that they've approved in Unilag, we've approved some of the patents. We've taken some of them to Dubai. In fact, I'll be collecting money from them by the time they become the fintech and they're becoming billions. I'll say, I gave you the first, So they are available. That's number 2. Number 3, we're also giving grants to training people in the creative industry. We have about 4 different houses that we're working with: Ebony Live, Del York, Ogidi Studios. They're training thousands and thousands of people in that industry. Cinematography, screenwriting, play something, so whatever it is. Free of charge. It costs us over 1.5 million per person to train them. That's another one. We have 37 skill acquisition centers that every quarter they're giving grants and they're giving implements to people. If it is fashion designing you are doing, if it is tiling that you are doing, at the end of it, they'll buy you your tiling machine. If it is catering you're doing, they buy you Adogon. Esma, they buy Adogon and all the coolers that you need. If it is barbing, they buy you generator, they buy you. They are there. So you just need to ask yourself and be sincere with yourself. What exactly do you want? So these are direct interventions that are available with government. I didn't say 1, I didn't say 2, 30-something skill centers. And each time they graduate over 5,000 people. I've just given another approval. So we cannot fold our arms and expect that it will fall from heaven. No, you have to search for it. You have to ask your friend. You have to make the move.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The realities of climate change is everywhere. And Lagos State is sometimes affected by the adverse effects of climate change. What is government doing to mitigate this effect and to ensure that people are comfortable?
It's very simple. It's not sometimes. It's all the times. It's with us. So when I started the speech, we talked about geography. Lagos is below the sea level. We did not create ourselves by the water. Abi? Le go anywhere. Okun leko. Right? The only border that I said I have, Atlantic Ocean and Ogun State. So water will always find its level. We're very lucky that we don't have the kind of tsunami and the kind of ocean surge that happens in other parts of the world. It's the same Atlantic Ocean that you see that bets in Miami and does all sort of havoc in the Caribbean. It's the same Atlantic Ocean. So what our own Atlantic Ocean has done for us is the reality of climate change. When there is rainy season and which you see it, which becomes very unpredictable, water will come in. 1/3 of Lagos is creek. Natural, we cannot do anything. They will now come and tell me it's River Agungi. There will be River Agungi next year. No, I mean, I'm taking it seriously and I'm being very honest about it. For as long as we cannot take away the body of water, it is water. So what you will see is that once it's predicted that this is the volume of water that is going to come, there will be the rain. So you will see flash flood. Those floods will come. The waters, the streets will be flooded. But let's come back 12 hours, 24 hours after and see that they would have receded. significantly. But because all of us have social media, they will have taken the picture. When the thing is up, they'll say the thing has covered their leg. It has covered. That's the only one you see. They don't go back and do the video 12 hours later when the water has gone down. Excuse me, I'm not saying we have solved all the problem. I'm first accepting the reality of the problem. That's what I'm doing. To explain to us that the problem is there and it is real. It is a natural consequence of where we live and where we find ourselves. But as a government, what do we need to do? We need to now be able to build those, what we call systems 1, system 2, and system 3. The primary drains, the major drains, and the rest of it. And we're building them. It costs a lot. It's concrete, steel, and iron to build those drainage channels. And so we'll continue to do it. But what is the flip side of it? You are my citizens. Let us correct our own way of life. You are doing your construction, your granite and everything, you pour it inside the drain. Brrr. Of course, when the rain comes, the drainage is blocked because there is sand and there is granite inside. You have blocked it. It's not going to go anywhere. You finish your something, you are throwing your refuse anywhere, you are using it to block the drains. When the time of the water now comes, the drain is blocked already. There's no magic. We all have roles to play. I'll play my own part, you play your own part. As I'm talking to you now, there's a meeting going on with all of the unions and everything. This morning, I've given a marching order to clear all refuse in this state, in this city, with whatever we have. But if we clear it and our people are still not understanding that they need to work with the PSPs, it will be unfair. Sir, we just ordered another 150 compactor trucks that will be arriving before the end of this year. It is to clear the city. It is to make the city habitable and responsive. So climate change is real. In fact, I'm meant to be speaking at one conference on climate change again. We're hoping that when they say that there's climate funding, they should give us some of the funding. We have done what we call adaptation risk insurance. They said we should do some insurance that we've paid for it. We're hoping that they can give us some slacks and give us those interventions so that we can truly, really become a resilient, city. But there will be challenges. There will be. But the state government is alive to its responsibility. We'll never shy away from it. We'll face it frontally and we'll resolve it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I would ask one more question from the questions that I have here, and then we also have 3 interventions from the audience. Sir, when you were speaking, you talked about the population explosion in Lagos State, and to a very large extent, housing is a critical aspect of it. Somebody is asking, what is the Lagos State government doing to ensure that rents are quite affordable and housing is accessible to all? Thank you.
Thank you, my people. Thank you. Believe me, I share the pain. Speaking honestly, it's a major problem that we all need to be able to solve. And we all need ourselves. Whilst we're looking for investors and investment to come in, these investors and investment also need to be merciful to us and ensure that you have built a house and you're believing that this house is going to be alive for the next 30, 40, 50 years. You should not charge people 3 years when they want to be staying, when they're earning their salary on a yearly basis. Even on a month, you see? So our plea is that we're coming, and we don't want to set up a law or a rule that is not easily implementable. We want it to be a dialogue. We want it to be a conversation that the citizens engage in, and it becomes something that we can, because the best rules are easily implementable when there's a shared commitment to it, when we both understand where we're coming from and we both believe in a solution. So the citizens are telling us that the rents and the pressure that has been put on them is a lot, which is true, it's a lot. So the side of it is that we need to plead with a lot of our property developers and our landlords to please, at the minimum, if they cannot do a monthly rent, 1 year is not to ask for people to pay 2 years or 3 years rent. It's totally unacceptable. That's number one. Number two is one meeting is also for us, and I'll tell you quite frankly, honestly, it's for people also to be able to deal with what they can afford. And I'll give you a simple example. You're a young 32-year-old. You don't need to start with a 4-bedroom flat. You don't need to say you want to start, a 4-bedroom flat. If it is a 2-bedroom that you require to start your life, if it is a studio flat that you require to start your life, be real with yourself and start with that. All of us have stayed in one bedroom before. I have, So that's also one of the things that put pressure to developers. Everybody wanted to build 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, when the need of our people is also a 1-bedroom flat, a 2-bedroom flat, and that's really what people require. So a need is also important. Number three is that let us also be able to develop a lot of our other interlands. Everybody cannot come and want to stay in Lekki or whatever name they call it, or they want to. Let us also try and see our development in other parts of the city. One of the things that we're doing is for us to be able to provide public transportation to bring you from those interlands and bring you to where your place of work is. And I appreciate and I understand. That's why the rails are coming up. That's why we're building the waterways. So that if you're in Ibeshe and you're in Ikorodu, you can, from 30 minutes, fly and get to VI, by the waterways are not needed to go on Third Mainland Bridge or Ikorodu. So it's a mix of the city that we all need to work in. But at the end of the day, what's government doing to also solve? Today, we have commissioned, with all sense of modesty, about 30 or 32 housing estates to date in 7 years. But is it enough? No. Is it enough? No. Government will continue to intervene, but government cannot also intervene in building that will be substandard. The cost of cement is the same cost of cement. The cost of iron rod is the same cost of iron rod. So we need to just be creative in how we develop it and the use that we need to put to it, right? So I'm not going to sit down and say to you that we can provide housing need for everyone. We can create the enabling environment for people to see the incentive for them to work with government and do more housing for our citizens. And what are the incentives? Part of the things that we're working on is to see if anybody is going to be building housing of certain number, let us reduce their cost of approval. Abi, let us reduce their cost of approval. Let us reduce the cost in which it's going to take them to get to maturity. These are some of the things where we can use to encourage the private sector to put, the investment. And finally, let's also work with our financial institutions to recreate mortgages so that we can have deferred payments over time. But government will continue to partake in its own. In fact, next month I have another housing estate to commission. But we will never be able to meet the demands of everyone. It will be difficult for us. But please, let us just use the various examples that I've given. Let's build into the interland. Let's take what we can take. Some people have 4-bedroom flats. It's only 1 room they are staying. The other 3 rooms, their shoes, their bag is what they have there. Stay within the means and reduce so that other people can also be part of it. Thank you very much.
Can we put our hands together for Mr. Governor? Thank you. So for the intervention at this time, I'd like to invite and welcome the Deputy Registrar, ICANN, Ijeoma Anaso, PhD, FCA. Please come forward to give a 2-minute intervention. Please give her the microphone. Thank you very much. And can we put our hands together for her?
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Mr. Governor, permit me to rest on the well-established protocols. On behalf of ICANN, I respectfully commend Pastor Tunde Bakare, founder and board chairman of the Citadel School of Government, for convening this timely and visionary summit. Your address, Mr. Governor, has clearly positioned Lagos not merely as Nigeria's commercial capital, but as a deliberate geo-economic platform built on infrastructure, talent, innovation, regional integration, investment readiness, and institutional continuity. For ICANN, the message is very clear. Geo-economic potential must be measured, managed, financed, reported, and sustained. As Lagos moves from the southwest to the globe, ICANN stands ready to support this vision through professional expertise in financial management, accountability, sustainability reporting, investment readiness, capacity building, and development of globally competitive finance professionals. We believe Lagos can become not only Africa's leading geo-economic hub, but also the model for how other regions in Nigeria can convert comparative advantage into shared prosperity. Thank you, Mr. Governor.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And of course, I'd like to invite and welcome the Apex Lead, Lagos Youth Development Institute, Abolade Abdulrasheed Omotolani. Thank you.
Yes, His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the Chief Host, Pastor Tobi Bakare, distinguished government officials, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abdulrasheed Abolade, and I represent the Lagos Youth Development Institute, an institute that was founded by the National Youth Council of Nigeria. And our intervention is basically a call to action to involve more of youth-led associations in the geo-economic realization of the future-ready Lagos. Our submission is such that our ops are ready and willing to partake in policy drafting, to integrate fully into policy discussion, and of course, engage in the dialogue for a better Lagos, and of course, participate in the regional integration that Lagos is trying to participate in across southwestern states. Again, I would like to reiterate that the young people are ready to participate in the geo-economic, geo-social, and geopolitical bottom lines of these geo-economic realizations, and it will be a pleasure for all youth bodies to be recognized and be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together for Mr. Governor for taking our time to interact with us? Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to mention that we are going to have a short video, after which we are going to have a short presentation for Mr. Governor. Please put your hands together for him as he goes to his seat. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, immediately after this documentary that will be displayed on the screen, we are going to have a special presentation to Mr. Governor. Please sit back, focus on the screen, and enjoy this. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Citadel School of Government. In a time where nations are defined by the quality of their leadership, the call for transformation has never been more urgent. At Citadel School of Government, our vision is clear: to be a globally renowned institution facilitating the emergence of cutting-edge nations, starting with Nigeria. We are driven by a singular purpose: to supply the world, beginning with Nigeria and Africa, with leaders equipped to spearhead the emergence of cutting-edge nations.
The Citadel School of Government, the journey to it is traceable back to about the year 2007, when the founder received the vision for a new era of his engagements in nation building. And that led to the establishment of the International Center for Reconstruction and Development, ICRD. On the platform of ICRD, we began to engage the nation in different dimensions, particularly with respect to the engineering, the social, economic, and political landscapes of Nigeria.
My name is Clementina Odetola. I currently am the Capacity Building and Academic Liaison Officer at the Citadel School of Government. And in my role, it comprises of the program office handled by Abiola and myself. What we basically do is to ensure that students who we refer to as participants here at the Citadel School of Government have a beautiful experience in the academic journey.
The classes were intense. The engagement was magnificent because we had people from all walks of life, private sector, public sector. We had a local government chairman, we had a justice. We had a lot of people working with governors, with presidents, and in the public sector.
I would say it has been transformative and eye-opening. It made me see governance differently. It made me see that there is something that we can truly do to deal with the problems that we are faced with. So it took me from that point of, we don't know where we are going or where we can go to, there is a way out.
The reason I joined CSG was to, of course, improve my learning in terms of national development and in terms of policy making in the nation.
The dialogue series and the webinar series arose again from the need to augment the academic experience that the school offers participants. We realized that it's not possible to cover the entire breadth of expected learning outcomes in 9 months, especially what was contained in the 120 modules and 12 courses that were originally presented to our partners. And so, as a result of that, those aspects that were not covered in the very, very robust academic curriculum, we decided to augment it with the webinar series.
And I was privileged to also moderate a webinar with Amzat Lawal when he came to talk about hidden in plain sight about corruption. I will not forget Thursday, 16th April, the butterflies in my stomach, hey, the whole world is gonna watch this. In addition to that, it was also an opportunity to see what our engagements, how people are interested in knowing more about our nation. It's amazing.
The mentorship initiative was established to augment the academic aspects of the program. As you are well aware, we are in partnership with the University of Lagos Business School that supplies facilitators, professors who are taking courses in partisan politics, political economy, strategic management in the public sector. We brought in practitioners who are extensively experienced in governance, from former governors to a former principal officer of the House of Representatives, to business leaders, to civil society leaders, development practitioners. And these leaders, from their experience, their successes, their challenges, their failures, how they navigated the complex political experiences, the complex political environment, they shared their experience.
That's an awesome experience. My own mentor, the group I belong to, we have been mentored by Honorable Olashi, a splendid man. He really took us through all the rudiments of governance. Even some of the things that I never gave a thought to, he exposed them to us. And in fact, I give him my respect.
So in terms of what I've learned from CSG, it's how to apply the right approach to every scenario you encounter.
With time, I'll be encouraging and sponsoring students participants to join the Citadel School of Government because it's a place of destiny discovery. If you don't know the direction of your life and you sit under this vast resource over time, I mean, within this 9 months or thereabout, definitely you will find a bearing for your life. And I encourage every man, every woman, boy or girl, traditional institutions, leaders of communities, and nations across Africa to come to the Citadel School of Government.
I'm not advising only one person, I'm advising persons because it's important. We can never underrate the worth of learning, especially in a setting like this, trust me. And the fact that it is affordable is a yes for me. The fact that, I mean, Kennedy School of Government is on my mind, and sincerely, when you check the modules, you realize that we didn't miss anything, as it were.
With what we have learned here, we won't allow it to go into waste. Because if we don't, the goal of learning, yes, the goal of learning, they say, is action. So we must put everything we have learned into action. And by 2031, I promise Citadel School of Government to wash out. They will see some of us in active politics by God's grace. Citadel School of Government.
Building nation builders.
Thank you very much.
To Citadel School of.
Thank you very much. Can we put our hands together for Citadel School of Government? I'd like to acknowledge the Apex Lead Lagos State Youth Ambassadors. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you very much for joining us. And I also like to acknowledge the presence of students of Lagos State University of Education. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Yes, you are welcome again. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are about to have a very special presentation to Mr. Governor, our keynote speaker. Please put your hands together as I invite and welcome the Executive Director, CSG, as he comes forward to speak, Mr. Omo. Can we put our hands together for him?
Thank you very much. My job here now is simple: to profoundly thank the governor for honoring our invitation and for exposing to us the vast opportunities of Lagos State. And we'll be presenting two things to him. So first of all, we're saying thank you, sir. Secondly, like you said while you were giving your speech, you mentioned Oliver Twist. We will ask for more. So I will do the thank you first, then I will ask for more, sir. Kindly bear with us. And to do this, I will invite the founder and board chairman and the vice chairman to come and join me here as we do the presentation while my colleagues come along. Thank you, sir. Please come up, man, and sir. And then we will invite Mr. Governor to kindly come up, sir. So hand it to them. Yes. So, sir, this is to say thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so you can take pictures with him.
Mr. Governor, sir, on behalf of the board of the Citadel School of Government, we'd like to present to you today a word of excellence as the keynote speaker at the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit that has taken place today on the 20th of June 2026. It is the first of its kind, and you are part of those pioneering new things in our nation. And we pray that after Lagos State, there will be more responsibilities after you rest for a while. Rest a little bit. I can't see you going to the Senate because you have not bought any form, but I can see you going to other places. I do not think Mr. President will let you go. As Buhari did to Raji Fashola, so will Bola Tinubu do to you. On behalf of the Citadel School of Government, Award of Excellence, Mr. Governor.
Can we put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you. Immediately after this picture, I'd like to invite...
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, just one more thing. The final thing we want to do, sir, is to tell you that we are eager to work with you. We've started the process. We called together alumni of Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy because we realized that they are a repository of knowledge. Having spent 1 year with you, 3 MDAs in 1 year, we realized that they are a repository, not just of knowledge, but of the next step. And so we called them to a focus group. We asked them what their strengths are. We even engaged a former cabinet member of yours who happened to be a board member, Engineer Ramide. She showed us what their strengths are, but we also saw areas of improvement. And so we developed what we call the Certificate in Leading Public Sector Innovation. We have started engaging the Ministry of Establishment with it, but we want you to be aware, and we want to formally and officially hand this framework over to you, sir. And by the way, sir, Professor Adebisi is one of our lecturers. He teaches, just before he became the UOBS Executive Director, he taught strategic management in the public sector. And part of what he has taught is what has been distilled into this. So we look forward to working with you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Governor, this generation is faster than light. This is presented by Citadel School of Government, specially prepared for Lagos State Government. Certificate in Leading Public Sector Innovation. And
we know ourselves.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The moment the governor saw you on the screen, said, "That's one of my own." Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to please rise. Let's give a thundering clap ovation to God and to our governor. I can hear it. Put your hands together. I will not mention the name of the person because he has repented. We were at an international conference and he was called to speak before I did. And he said, the reason I want to rule Nigeria, and they called me after him to speak, and I stood him up. I said, who will be your subjects when you are ruling instead of serving? We have seen an example of a responsive, responsible leader who can be called upon to give the account of their stewardship to citizens. The day will come when the most important office in Nigeria will be the office of the citizen. And leaders will serve. I watched him very closely as he was answering the questions. He didn't assume or pretend as one who had all the answers. They said, you need to contribute, I need to contribute. Let's make Nigeria great one more time. Mr. Governor, you have never heard me speak against your administration, not once. I didn't speak one time against Rajiv Ashola's administration, not once. What is the reason? Because they are responsive. You ask questions, they answer you. And if anybody thinks it's bigger than the citizens, we will answer them at the next election. Thank you so very much today, sir. On behalf of the Citadel School of Government, on behalf of the Citadel Global Community Church, on behalf of the citizenry, the entire citizen, those residents in Lagos, those from afar, I received input from Indonesia. I just didn't want to ask you questions. They said, how could you get your governor to come? Because my governor is a servant of the people. And as you serve the people, God will continue to honor you. Thank you very much, sir. Photographers, this will be your last opportunity.
All right. We are still taking a few more pictures. Immediately after this, I'd like to invite the University of Lagos Business School to please come forward to take a picture with Mr. Governor. And immediately after that, board members should also, the CSG board, please. Okay. The CSG board, please. Okay, yes. I did. All right. The CSG board members, please, would like you to come forward to take a picture. CSG board members. Okay, you have taken it, man. Thank you very much. Representatives of the University of Lagos, you've taken it. All right. Dignitaries, including local government chairmen, our distinguished commissioners, and other senior government officials here present, would like you to please come take a picture with Mr. Governor. Thank you. Thank you. Immediately after this picture, CSG management. Please, you have done that, okay. Besides that, we'll have CSG staff and Mr. Governor. CSG staff and Mr. Governor. CSG staff, please, would like you to come forward. You're next. CSG staff. Then CGCC Executive Council, please be on standby. We are going to have a picture with Mr. Just one more. Okay. CGCC? Okay. CGCC. CGCC Executive Council, please, would like you to quickly come take your picture. And that's the last picture. Thank you. CGCC, please. The final picture. Thank you very much. CGCC Executive Council. And that's the final picture. Immediately after that picture, we are going to have the vote of thanks. And we'll be done with this program. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I believe Mr. Governor deserves another round of applause. Can we put our hands together for an excellent leader, a responsible and responsive leader, an outstanding achiever, and a man that we are really proud of. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together for Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Thank you, sir. Thank you for all you do for Lagos. Thank you for being a model for other states to emulate. Thank you for being a standard worthy of emulation and celebration. We acknowledge you and we celebrate you. To say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite and welcome the Admin and Operations Officer, CSG. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Fatima Pedro Lawrence as she comes forward to say thank you. Can we make her feel welcome with a better round of applause?
Thank you, Damola. Thank you very much. A standing ovation for Mr. Governor, please. Everyone, thank you very much. Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm brimming from ear to ear because we are excited. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for honoring our invitation. This means a lot to the Citadel School of Government. We appreciate you, sir, for honoring us. Standing on all protocol, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit to a close, it is my singular honor on behalf of the Citadel School of Government to deliver this vote of thanks. First and foremost, we return all glory to God Almighty for His grace, guidance, and protection throughout the planning and successful execution of this summit. We extend our deepest appreciation to the founder, Pastor Tunde Bakare, and the board of Citadel School of Government for their visionary leadership, unwavering support, and commitment to raising transformational leaders for nation building. Our profound gratitude goes to our keynote speaker, His Excellency. Thank you very much, sir. The Governor of Lagos State, for honoring our invitation and sharing invaluable insights that have enriched our understanding of the opportunities and challenges within the geo-economic landscape. We sincerely thank our sponsors, Citadel Holdings and the Citadel Global Community Church, whose generous support made this summit possible. Please, a round of applause for our sponsors. Thank you. We also appreciate our valued partner, the University of Lagos Business School, for their collaboration and continued commitment to excellence in leadership and governance education. To our specially invited guests, dignitaries, and participants, thank you for taking out time off your demanding schedules to be with us today. Your presence, contribution, and engagement have greatly enriched us. And to our ever-present Citadel School of Government participants, all represented here, please, a standing ovation for them, without whom we will not be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are also grateful to the Church Council, the leadership, and the entire Citadel Global Community Church community for their support and encouragement towards the success of this event. A special word of appreciation goes to the staff of the Citadel School of Government, whose dedication, professionalism, and tireless efforts behind the scenes ensured that every aspect of this summit came together seamlessly. We also recognize and appreciate our volunteers who generously gave their time, energy, and talents in service of this vision. Your contributions have not gone unnoticed. To everyone who played a role, whether visible or behind the scenes, please accept our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you all for being a part of the Geo-Economic Optimization Summit. We trust that the conversations, insights, and connections established here will continue to inspire meaningful action and contribute to the advancement of our nation and continent. May God bless you all. May God bless Lagos State, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much, everyone. So please kindly remain seated as the governor. Yes, Damola?
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please put your hands together for Mr. Governor. It's been a huge honor anchoring today's event. Thank you very much for having me. Damola is my name, and it's been a very beautiful honor anchoring today's event. Thanks for being an amazing audience. Please remain seated till Mr. Governor leaves, and then we'll have an orderly exit from this facility. Thank you, and God bless you.